Hey guys, how are you all doing today? Evylyn here, and I'm bringing you a Fury Warrior guide in Warlords of Draenor. Now this guide is going to be set into 4 different videos. The first part is going to be my keybinds, the second part will be my macros, the third part will be my stat priority, my spec and glyphs, and the fourth part will be my add-ons and my rotation. Alright, so first up we're going to go over my actual keybinds, then we're going to go into more detail about the keybinds themselves and what way you can look at your keyboard and things you can use the keybind to. And then we're finally going to go over the ways I would set my keybinds up so you guys know what I'm doing. Okay, so guys, as you guys can see in front of you, we have a table of contents. Now you can click on any of these links to bring you any part of the video should you see fit. However, I do recommend you watch the whole video just so you know how exactly what's going on and you're not confused. We're going to start off with my keybinds themselves. And Whirlwind is set to number 1. My Bloodthirst is set to number 2, which is a macro. My Raging Blow is set to number 3. My Wild Strike is set to number 4. My Bladestorm macro is set to number 5. My Execute is set to Naga button 1. My Hamstring is set to Naga button 2. My Heroic Throw is set to Naga button 8. My Battle Stance macro is set to Naga button 7. My Rallying Cry is set to Naga button 9. My Defensive Stance macro is set to Naga button 4. My Intimidating Shout macro is set to Alt middle mouse click. My Shield Barrier macro is set to up mouse wheel up. My Every Man for Himself is set to Shift Naga button 3. My Spell Reflect macro is set to Alt mouse wheel up. My Focus Pummel macro is set to middle mouse click. My Normal Pummel is set to Naga button 3. My Shattering Throw macro is set to Shift mouse wheel up. My Die by the Sword is set to Shift mouse wheel down. My Safeguard macro is set to Shift Naga button 4. My Life macro is set to Alt Naga button 6. My Piercing Howl is set to Alt mouse wheel down. My Berserker Rage is set to Shift middle mouse click. And my 1 minute burst macro is set to Alt Naga button 3. This little particular thing here, which actually happens to be a little trinket I have, it's set to Naga button 5. Now the next keybind after that is my Ore, which is set to my charge. The next one after that is my focus charge, which will focus, charge and fear. It is set to Naga button 10. This one G here is just really the buff battle shout, but it's also for a tooltip to show my Stormbolt when I inspect for it. The next one after that is F, which is set for 3 buttons, which is Dragon Roar, Stormbolt and Shockwave. The next one after that is my Naga button 6, which is my Rage Generation. The next one after that is my Heroic Leap, which is C. Then V is my one shot macro, which is my Get Wrecked Nerd macro. The next one is T, which is actually my Commanding Shout. Next one after that is Control and F, which is my Focus Stormbolt. The next one after that is Control and middle mouse click, which just mounts me up. The next keybind after that is my Ravager, which is just mouse wheel down. Then the ones over here is my Focus Shattering Throw, which is Control, mouse wheel up. Then you've got my Banner, which is pretty much Naga button 12. Then you got my Victory Witch, which is Control and Naga button 2. Then you've got my Safeguard to Healer Spell Reflect macro, which is on Naga button 11. And then my Food, which is on the slash beside Z. In this next part we're going to talk about the keys themselves. Now there's many ways you can set up these keys. If you look down at your keyboard, you will be able to see R, T, F, G, C and V are all pretty close to your index finger, and you're able to click on them without any problems. You can use your thumb to click on C and V, and you can use your index finger to click R, T, F and G without having to stretch your hand well too far. Now ideally what you want to be doing is you got keybind Shift, Control and Alt. If you're going to use Alt, you want to move your thumb to that. If you're going to use Shift or Control, you want to move your little small pinky finger to that. Now if you look at your hands, you can easily stretch the keys 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These are definitely your easiest keys to click because your hand can stretch through any of them or any problems are to moving, which basically means you'll be able to click on any of them or any problems. So ideally you want to try to set your keys up on these that you're going to use the most. Things like your main abilities like Bloodthirst, Raging Blow and Wild Strike, and obviously Whirlwind. And the reason I have Blightstorm set here is because I used to have it set to a stun there, but now I have it set here because it's more effective. And F is my other stun, which as you guys can see over here, and that's pretty much allows me to easily get access to that. Or is my charge, which I want to be able to access that quickly as well. T and G are my commanding and battle shout. C is my heroic leap, which I need to be able to click really quickly, and V is my one-shot macro. Now, obviously my mouse wheel up is my shield barrier because I won't be able to get to that quickly, and my Ravager is my mouse wheel down. This is my effective ability to get to all these buttons quick. Now, if you use a Raise Naga like most people do, you're going to find that number 6 and 7 is Execute and Hamstring, which is I have to set Naga button 1 and 2. They are abilities I need to get quickly. Heroic Throw is not so much. Rallying Cry, which is number 9, like I said before, that's also easier to click, but obviously the ones on the bottom are the hardest to click on the Naga button. Now, I just made them abilities that I wouldn't use too often, but I do use on occasion, and if you're going to use them, you might want to just set it up somehow. Now, we also have my Focus Shattering Throw and my Safeguard to Healer, and then we've also got my Banner. And these things are just general things that I won't use too much, but if I do use them, they are there on set on the Naga. You generally want to try to get your keybind set so you can use your abilities as quick as you can. Now in this next part of the video, we're going to go over different combinations of keys that you might want to use. Now ideally you want to try set your keybinds up so you have combinations going, and you just want to set it all around things like generally ways in what you want to have them set, so you have things like that are similar. For instance, like my pummel is going to be similar to my actual focus pummel. They're both on my mouse. I can click my middle mouse, and I can also click Naga button 3, which will both pummel in 2 different directions. Same with my Stormbolt. If I use F, I use normal Stormbolt, and if I use Control F, I use a focus Stormbolt. Now you can set this up in other ways to use focus. For instance, I have my control key set to most of my focus abilities. Now if I set control mouse wheel up, that is my focus shattering, but if you use shift mouse wheel up, that is my normal shattering. Just general examples like that. These are small things that will make your gameplay a bit more tighter, a bit more compact, easier to recognize because you'll be used to them and stuff like that. You've also got my Rallying Cry, which is set to number 9 on my Naga, and then it's set to number 6 for my Enrage Generation, which is 2 separate keybinds, and then you press Alt and then Naga button 6, you find that I will use my life macro. That's another way of setting them up. That combines all my heal macros there. Now, just general all good things now. If you press Alt and my middle mouse, that is Fear. Press Shift and my middle mouse, that is Berserker Rage. 2 different Fear mechanics. That's another way of looking at it. Just putting the mechanics together that you know work the best for yourself. And for my stance macros, I have Naga button 4 and Naga button 7 set to change between defensive and battle stance, because they're both beside each other on the Naga and they're easy to switch movements between. Now, things like my shield barrier, if I use mouse wheel up, it uses shield barrier, shift mouse wheel down, uses my die by the sword, my 2 defensives. Just general things like that will make your gameplay a lot better. Just try combine things that are similar movements for similar abilities, and you'll find that your keybinds will definitely work a lot better for yourself. So overall guys, that's how I fully set up my keybinds. That's the thinking I bring behind the keybinds and why I like to do combinations. Combinations are definitely the best way to remember stuff, and generally how to get your keybinds rolling the way you want them to. So yeah guys, that was my keybinds guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you found it somewhat insightful. That's generally my thinking around when I'm making keybinds. Now ideally most of these are around the Naga. If you haven't got a Naga, you can still use Control, Shift and Alt to use it on your normal mouse, 2-button mouse or 4-button mouse, and combine them that way. Now you will get a lot of keybinds out that way, but a Naga is definitely recommended. Anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and also remember guys to look out for the Fury Warrior macro guide, which is going to be the next video. And yeah, thank you for watching guys. This is Evylyn. I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.